All right, friends, hello. Today we are going to talk about one of the most potent poses, yoga poses, that you can incorporate into your daily life. So if you struggle with anxiety, arthritis, poor sleep, digestive issues, menopause, cramps, there's all these different benefits to this single pose, that doing this regularly, this one single pose, can absolutely have incredible health benefits. I hate to even claim them all because it can sound pretty woo-woo and wild, but they have been really well documented. And either way, it definitely improves sleep. It definitely helps to calm an anxious mind. So those two factors alone are really, really potent and powerful. It's called Viparita Kirani, and it stands for the lake at the base of the mountain. And I'm going to show you a couple of setups, and whichever one is best for you, then we'll sit in that pose together for several minutes. You can do this pose for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes at the end of your day before sleep, and you will start to notice some really incredible benefits. It's a supportive, restorative pose, and so that is why I'm going to show you these different ways. If you have a really established practice, we'll be a little bit more propped up, or even utilizing just your body for it. And if you're newer, or you need a more gentle practice, or you're maybe on your cycle, then you'll go for the more gentle setup, which is simply a pillow or a folded blanket or towel all the way up to the wall. Now, I don't have the most ideal situation because I have this register here, and you're going to want enough space to kind of cartwheel your legs up, but wherever you have an open wall, that's where you want to set up, okay? So we're going to come to the wall. So if you are really knowing that you just want this restorative, this is how we're going to get into it. And if you're going along with me, you can watch this, or you can go ahead and do it. If you're going to be in this relaxed one, then go ahead and get into it, and then you can just listen to the rest. And then if you're going to be building to the more challenging versions, you can either try this or just watch and then move into the next ones as we do that, okay? So you'll come all the way to the wall, and you're going to have to, it can be a little uncomfortable, awkward at first, especially when you have not as much room, but you're going to get your bottom all the way to the wall. And you'll have to kind of shimmy and find your way, and you want your butt all the way up against the wall. And so you kind of find your way there, and it'll come away as you get there. So you see I use my feet and I lift up to get my sit bones all the way on the wall. So it's like you're sitting on the wall. Okay, and so your hips and low back should all be stacked on your pillow or blanket, and you can make this as high or as low as you want, but you do want a support here. This is part of the whole setup, is getting the hips higher than the heart. So this is why this is great for lymphatic flow. It's also helpful for our heart, our cardiovascular health, okay? So getting your blood flowing in the opposite direction is really, really beneficial. Lymphatic tissue doesn't move, it doesn't have the musculature like our cardiovascular does. So having your feet up like this is really beneficial to get the lymph flowing in the opposite direction, so that your lymph tissue is moving throughout your body. So if you have autoimmune issues, this can be really beneficial. So once you're here, again, you just want your seat all the way against the wall, and then you want your legs together. Now, there's different things you can do with the legs. Having the feet flexed for a couple of moments of this is really, really nice. So maybe 2 to 3 minutes, having your feet really flexed and your legs really engaged. And then after you have that for a while, sometimes having a block, like a yoga block on your feet, can help. Or you can just really splay your toes and activate your feet, pretending you're pressing those feet like Tadasana, like mountain feet, into the earth. Really, really active feet, active legs. And then your upper body just relaxes, and you go into these kind of cactus sunflower arms, letting the whole upper body relax. And it's really great for neck and shoulders. You can shimmy your shoulders under you a little more, and then get a little stretch as your shoulders relax there. So it's pulling your shoulder blades down towards your hips, getting a little more space in the neck and shoulders where we tend to get really contracted and crunched. And then you can let your feet relax after a time and just let them rest there. So this might be your pose. Again, you can hang out here for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's really, really a delightful resting pose. You can listen to a meditation. You can quietly just listen to your breath. You could pick a song or two to listen to that you enjoy, that you find relaxing. You can listen to a podcast or a show, a book on tape, but resting here without something really intense. Don't listen to, gunshots and an intense murder mystery novel or something, but something just relaxing and mindless that you can just be here, be with your body, be with your breath, and rest and enjoy. And honestly, this alone, 10 to 20 minutes of this every day before bed can totally transform your life. It can change your sleep, help with inflammation. Again, the benefits make it sound a little insane how great it really is. So just hang out here if this feels good. And if you'd like to move on to the next level, I'm going to go ahead and show that. But feel free to just hang out here and enjoy it. That's what we want for you. So to come down when it is time, you just bend your knees and roll to your side. And then you can scoot off your pillow and rest and push yourself up when it's time. But again, hopefully you're just hanging out in that. Now, if you need another level, then what you have is a chair, and a folding chair is ideal because we want this low back, we want this like level of angles, okay? And you want to be able to get your arms through. You'll want a pillow, a blanket, or a towel at the bottom to support your upper body as you come off. I am probably going to scoot this over a little bit so you guys can see me a little more. And yeah, so we're gonna get into that, and it can be awkward again getting into it. And so we're gonna come to the seat, we're gonna put our legs over the back and then scoot our bottom in, and you're hanging onto the chair so you don't slip. And I have this blanket draped over this because the edge can be really rough, so you want a towel or a blanket draped over the edge because you are using a folding chair. It's not going to be as comfortable as some other things might. You can do this on other surfaces like off the edge of a couch if you feel supported, but the chair is really nice because it's so stable. So get your feet off the edge, and then you grab, so my arms are going beneath and in between the legs of the chair to grab the back legs, and then my head and chest can all roll off the top, and I can hang here a second, and then I'm gonna press myself off. So I'm grabbing the outside legs now to get a little bit more control, and just being really slow and mindful as you come off the chair. And that's why you can make your prop on the ground as high as you would like. And then you get your feet to the edge. So it's like almost like a supported shoulder stand here. This is pretty high. So you might need more support underneath for your head and neck. Just honoring your body. I would recommend more height than I have here for most people, unless you're really tall or you have a really, really long torso. I have a pretty long torso, so this can work for me. And now I have my arms and hands back, gripping those back legs again. And you can see I'm really taking my time here though. And then my hips are pretty much all the way at the edge of the chair. So it can be uncomfortable. This is why you have to have a support on your chair, like blanket or towel, something to protect your low back, because your bones will be right against that edge. And then we just straighten our legs like we're in any other inversion. So now we don't have the support of the wall, but we want those active legs to keep everything nice and straight. My instructor, my favorite yoga teacher, would always say, zip up your legs like one leg. So you really make your legs strong. Your feet are together, legs are together. You're pressing your heels away from you into the ceiling, back of the legs away. So you don't want to pike. You don't want your legs really coming forward over you. You want them just straight up at the ceiling. And so the lake at the base of the mountain, the Viparita Kirani, is you. You are the lake. No matter which level you're at, you are the lake. Your organs, your vital organs, your heart, they're all the lake. And your legs are the mountain.
So as you're here, as long as you're comfortable, once you're comfortable, adjust as needed. Make sure your neck and shoulders feel safe. If they don't, go ahead and calm down and shift your props or go back to the wall where you were. And then just let your breath start to soften. And so this is all the upper body should just be relaxing. Your legs might shake, that's okay. But we're getting all those wonderful fluids, the lymph, the blood, all flowing up. Obviously, this isn't a good one to do right after eating. And this level we don't want to do when you're on your cycle. So if you're on your period or your moon, you don't want to be up this level. You can do at the wall, but typically, unless you have a really strong regular practice, this is a pretty high inversion for somebody on their cycle. So I would say this is for the other 3 weeks of the month, okay? And then when you're ready to come down, again, you can stay there. I'm just demoing. You just slip yourself down, hold on to the chair to be safe, and you're just gonna slide down and rest for a moment with your hips on the blanket, legs on the chair. You can sunflower your arms. You can take an extra little shavasana here, letting everything be supported, just letting your breath come and go. Hopefully you're still up, legs up, relaxing. And when you are ready, then you roll to your side and you'll be able to press yourself up. I'm going to show one more option. You can also do this where you have a block to support you, and you can put that block at any level. Again, you want it pretty low, so it's at like your sacrum, basically. Okay, so pretty low if you're going to use a block. I'm going to show one example without any support under the hips, and this would be, you'll use a belt though, and you would want it to be just a little narrower than your shoulders. So you make your loop and then use your fingers and make sure it's just a little narrower than your shoulders. And then you're going to get it behind you. Oh, it's gonna look a little goofy. So you get it in there so that it's got your elbows, it's just above your elbows. And again, this is only if you have a pretty well established practice, you feel really safe in inversions. Otherwise, please stick to the other ones with more props and more supports. And then we'd come onto our back, and you can go from a yoga bridge, but really you want to go into more like a halasana, a plow. So I'm going to bring my legs over my head and then shimmy my hands back like I'm going into like a shoulder stand, right? And then the legs are going to come up and over. And so unlike a shoulder stand where we want to be really straight, we're going to let the hips go forward and then bring the legs over. And so you can see my hips are forward, right? Just like if I was on a prop, but now my hands are the prop and the blanket is helping me hold here. So now we have this. And then obviously when we're like this, we don't want to be turning our head side to side. I should have said that in all the other positions, but especially here. And so you can sink your hips more. Yeah, so now I'm a little more into it. And then legs are there. So it's really normal when you're here, you want to start like piking your legs, but we don't really want that. We want to be the mountain. So keep those legs strong and straight and hips sink. There we go. And so just be mindful, it can be a little rough on your wrists, and to come out, you come back into plow. You can take off that belt and then slowly roll down, looking back at your feet to keep your neck safe and relax. So those are the 3 versions, the 3 modifications. And wherever you're at, or if you watched and then you want to go back in and try it, go ahead and make sure you're taking some nice deep breaths. Be safe and mindful as you come out of this pose. But remember to try it each and every night. I'd say at least 10 minutes. 10 to 20 minutes is ideal. And notice how it really shifts and impacts your sleep, your pain, your anxiety. It's so potent, so powerful. If you have people with heart disease in your family, this is like a #1 combatter of that. So enjoy it.
I'd say if you could only do one yoga pose for the rest of your life, let this be the one. But obviously, there's so many good ones. But go ahead and enjoy. Try the different levels as your practice grows. Let me know how it goes or if you have questions. And feel free to like, subscribe, keep coming back for more tips on getting into yoga poses or moves for pain relief, mindfulness and meditation. And share this if you feel like you know someone who could benefit. So much love to you. Be well. Talk soon.